Dun, 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 dun. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Thank you, baby. Can you fill both of these up for me as well, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's up, boys? But let me put my uniform on. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Can't see the chat box on the screen though. There it is. There it is. Can you guys hear me okay? Press 1 if you can hear me okay. You can just sit here and just watch me record videos.
There you are.
Thank you, baby. You want to say hi to the stream?
You're streaming?
Yeah. I'm just streaming, just recording videos.
Oh no, I looked. I'm good.
Anastasia says hi, guys. I looked.
I think a little bit.
Love it, baby. What video shall we record today, boys? What video shall we record today? 10 signs she's not into you. Let's do it. 10 signs she's not in. I don't usually use my phone to record. I usually like just keep it on my laptop. But since I'm streaming there, I've got like the script on my phone. Yeah, Dondlo, thank you, man. It's a good idea, isn't it? I'm making my entire life just content, bro. I may as well just have like a video camera on 24/7. Okay, let's go, boys. We got 10 signs she's not into you. 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait. Fuck. 1 second, boys. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Can you guys hear me okay? If I'm talking to the camera, can you still hear me okay? Yeah. Yeah, sweet. Jeffrey is obsessed with his crush. He scrolls on her social media, neurotically checking her story to see if she's been with other guys. What pictures has she been liking? He's obsessed. Adonis doesn't have crushes. He doesn't even know what one is. He never obsesses over girls because girls obsess over him. Whilst Jeffrey's focused on the girl that he likes, Adonis is focused on his work. That is the way of the masculine man. 10 signs she's not into you. I wish that I watched the video like this when I was younger because I messed up so many times. I would overly emotionally invest into a girl that, I was like really obsessed over. I had a massive crush on them. And the signs were so clear that she wasn't into me, that she wasn't interested. And for some reason, it's like it's in the male brain to just be totally fixated on the girl that is somewhat showing you some subtle signs that she's not interested. But a lot of us don't pick up on that. There was a girl when I was around 18 years old. There was a girl when I was around 18 years old, and I was, going on some dates here and there. I was really excited. Like, yeah, she's really, really cute, and she was like above me. I'm not gonna lie, she was like above my league at the time because I was quite like a kind of, weird, nerdy kind of guy, and I had just recently started going to the gym. I started going on some dates with this girl, and it felt awesome. She's come out to meet me, and like we even held hands one time. The issue was that eventually she probably like lost some interest in me, which is fair enough. But I didn't see the signs. So there would be points, I'd text her like, "Oh, hey, do you wanna go watch Guardians of the Galaxy?" Bro, I swear to God, I invited like 7 girls to come watch Guardians of the Galaxy with me when it came out. Like, I never even ended up watching. Oh, fuck, that's so sad. I literally invited, like, there was a point when I invited every girl that I would be speaking to come watch Guardians of the Galaxy to me. And I've not even watched the movie. Like, every fucking girl I invited never came out with me, man. But yeah, like, I invited to this. She's down. She's like, "Oh yeah, she's gonna, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna go meet on Friday, whatever. We're gonna go watch a movie together, or whatever date that I had invited her to." Thursday rolls around, maybe Friday rolls around, and she just texts me like, "Oh hey, sorry, I'm just busy today. How about Saturday?" And of course, I had some clue. I had watched a couple of these kinds of videos which said that, oh, if she cancels but she reschedules, then it's okay. The issue with that was that, okay, she cancelled. The issue with that was that, okay, she cancelled. The issue with that was that, okay, she cancelled, she rescheduled, which is a good sign, right? It gets to the rescheduled day, and she cancels and reschedules again, and again, and again. Now, looking back, it's kind of obvious what was happening, but at the time when I had feelings for this girl and I was a little bit needy, it was so hard to just build up the level of respect for myself to just think like, nah, I don't really like how she's behaving. If we've said we're going to meet on a certain day and she keeps changing it, like that's not attractive. But I was so emotionally invested into this girl that I kind of got played, I'm not going to lie. And another thing actually happened to a very good friend of mine. So when I was in high school, it was happening to him where like the girl that he wanted to date, but just kept on telling him, "Oh yeah, we'll meet on this day." And then she kept on rescheduling. And I saw how much it hurt my friend when this was happening to him. And that's what I don't want to happen with you. So we're gonna go over 10 signs that she's not that into you, and it might hurt your feelings, but the pain that you'll experience by watching this video all the way to the end will actually help you to potentially move on if that's the right thing. Or maybe you'll watch this video and she's not actually giving you these signs, and maybe she is actually into you. How we doing, boys? I swear, bro, I've become like addicted to coffee. I'm not even gonna lie. All right. Okay. Number one, she doesn't pay that much attention to you. When you meet her or maybe you text her, it always just seems like her attention is somewhere else. Or, unfortunately, and this might fucking hurt, bro, her attention may be on someone else. The thing that you've got to understand about women, especially women who have a lot of feminine energy, is that their attention is almost always fixated on the best guy that they can get. And this term is so controversial to use, but the alpha male, for a feminine woman, not just every woman, right? Because a lot of women are kind of like masculine. They've got quite a lot of like masculine, goal-striving, hard work kind of energy. I like to date feminine girls. And from my understanding, a feminine woman's attention is almost entirely on her alpha male. Maybe it's boasting, but I will tell you some truth right now. I'm recording this video right now. I'm live streaming at the same time. We've literally got the boys watching us on a live stream. You see this? The boys have just seen this. Maybe you'll see it if you were watching the live stream as well. I'm just about to record. My girl comes in, gives me a coffee, gives me my water. She's sat in the other room right now thinking about me. I don't say that to even boast. It is just a hardcore fact. My girl is sat in the other room right now whilst I'm focused on my work. She's paying attention to me. When you are a girl's best option, when you're a girl's alpha male, her attention is on you. But unfortunately, when you're not a girl's best option, when she can do better than you, when she has like some other guy in mind, well, she's not paying that much attention to you. So the first sign that she's not into you, it's just kind of clear that her attention is elsewhere. Oh, this one's fucking brutal. Number two, The second sign that she's not into you is that she pulls away from physical contact. I told a story once of like some girl that I went on a couple of dates with, or no, just one date, and we literally just went for a walk together. And I don't even think we held hands or anything, but it got to the point when I walked her back to like her parents' home, and I went in for a hug, and she did this, and she almost told me off, and she was like, no, I like not like that, but she in an almost like a little bit of a hostile way. She's like, no, like I don't like being touched or being hugged. Now, some people might be like that. Some people might just, for maybe like childhood trauma or something. Maybe some people might be sort of off put with physical touch and stuff. Fair enough. But chances are, if she's into you, she actually likes your physical touch. And this is actually something that I taught my best friend Sam. So, he's our editor, my right-hand man. I taught him this when we were in Thailand together, and, he was like under my wing on like how to get girls and everything. I taught him about this concept of like physical touch is huge. And that if, for example, we're in a conversation with some girls right now, and she just almost a little bit unnecessarily touches you, that is such a good sign. And I don't want to go into too much detail about Sam's dating life and everything, but I can tell you of one moment where I saw Sam implement this so perfectly, where we were literally sat with some girls we had just met. We're sat on the beach having a good time, and as this girl kind of like tells a story, Sam laughs, and he just kind of puts his hand on her arm, and bro, this was so good to see. He did that, so his hand is on her arm, and I just saw I just saw her hand come up and almost like caress his arm a little bit. And I was like, fuck, oh, that's so good to see, bro. That is an awesome sign that if she's into you, that is an awesome sign that if she's into you, she'll embrace your physical touch. But on the other hand, if she's not into you, she'll avoid it. She'll be like, maybe polite, maybe you'll handshake, or maybe you'll do like a little polite hug or something, but she won't embrace your physical touch. Can we get a W for Sam, boys? W for Sam. W for Sam. Oh, what's up, Harris? Are you mod on this, Harris? I don't think I can do it from this platform. I've got to mod some people. Boys, spam W for Sam. W Sam. W Sam. W Sam. I'm going to send him a video. This is for you, Sammy boy. Talking about you right now. Sam, I'm streaming whilst I record videos. Fucking double content. W for Sam, boys. Where are we up to? She pulls away from physical contact. I've got to change the script a little bit. Number 3, she doesn't ask you any personal questions. Okay. Number 3, she doesn't ask you any personal questions or really get to know you more than just being polite. There was a girl, when I first ever used Tinder, I think I was about 17, 18. I've got a fucking hair in my mouth. There was a girl that I used to text when I was just up. There was a girl that I matched with when I first started using Tinder. I think I was like 17 or 18 years old. And I remember this girl, I would message her on Tinder. Eventually I got her phone number. I got my friend's advice, like, how can I get her phone number? And he's like, oh, just tell her that you're going for a walk and you don't have any internet on your phone so that you need her number to keep messaging her. I sent her that message. She's like, yeah, you can have it. Gives me her number and we start texting. And I texted her quite frequently. So this was before like I had any game at all. The issue was that she was replying to my texts, but she wasn't really interested in me. So I would message her some questions like, oh, what are you doing today? What do you do? Whatever. And she would answer the question that I would send her, and she'd always reply back, oh, and what about you? That what about you gave me enough of a feeling to think that she was into me, when actually she wasn't. She wasn't, because the thing is, if a girl is really into you, she won't just deflect your questions back at her. You say, oh, what did you do today? And she's like, oh yeah, I did this. How about you? And you say, oh, what was your favorite type of music? And she said, oh, this is my favorite type of music. How about you? That shows almost like a lazy conversationalist. What you really want, like the perfect sign that a girl is into you, is not only that, she'll ask. What you really want, like the perfect sign that a girl is into you, is not only that she will answer the question that you give to her and maybe she'll reflect it back onto you, but she'll take some time to even think of her own questions that she wants to know about you. If a girl doesn't do that, if a girl doesn't seem to like ask you any original questions that you've not even asked her, chances are like she doesn't really care that much to get to know you more. Number three. Number three. Number three. Hee hee. Number four. Number four. She doesn't make that much effort with you. The thing is, when a girl really likes a guy, she will make an incredible amount of effort. She will travel the entire, like, she'll go to the other side of the world for him. And how it's actually interesting that that phrase I've just used, she will go to the other side of the world for him, is exactly the relationship I'm in now. I met my girl Anastasia in Thailand on my last day of Thailand, and she was like meant to stay there, you know, traveling with her brother and everything. She was meant to stay there for longer. We hit it off. We both fell in love literally on the first day that we met each other. And she was supposed to like continue traveling for months and months and months. She doesn't really like the UK. Like, she's from here as well, and I'm from the UK, but she didn't really want to come back. And when we met, we fell in love. I came back to the UK. She ended up leaving her travels early to come back here and literally took a 12-hour flight. Oh wait, 1.5 hour flight first to Bangkok, a 12-hour flight from Bangkok to London, and then like a 3-hour train or something to come see me. She traveled about 15 hours across the entire world to come see me for a date. And so of course, like, I didn't want to just make it like a normal date. So I made it like a 1-week road trip around the UK, around Scotland. It was quite literally the best week of my entire life. And I think she said the same thing. She will make an effort if she is into you. And this is the one I really want you to really just keep in mind. If a girl is into you, she will make an effort to come and see you. Even if you're far away, even if the logistics aren't really that nice, she will make an effort. And when she does show up, she will look like she's prepared herself for you. When a girl is totally into you, she's not going to come up wearing like, you know, like unflattering kind of clothes or anything. Like, she wants to impress you. And so of course the other side of this is true. If she's not that into you, if she doesn't really like you that much, she won't really make an effort. If you live like 10 minutes away and she won't come meet you, it's like, well, she probably doesn't like you then. Shiwaba. We got some haters in the chat, boys. We got some haters in the chat. Are they making us more money, bro? Are they giving us their attention for free? Yeah. Yeah, come tell me someone owned me, bro. MashaAllah. Come give me your attention for free, bro. Aravin's getting mad right now. She doesn't keep eye contact. As some nobody YouTuber mentioned that we're streaming right now, and he sent his boys here. Do you know what's interesting, boys? There's so many guys right now who are saying that someone's owned me. That oh, you know, someone made a video about me and they're saying his name, Sheebtab. You know, my only response to that is, who? Exactly. Irrelevant, bro. Number 5, she doesn't keep eye contact. Now, this is one of my favorites, bro. If a girl is into you, if she's attracted to you, she will hold your eye contact. And there is times when you can literally just walk through the street. If you are that kind of guy who's, you know, pretty confident and attractive, and when you see a girl walking past and she holds her eye contact and smiles, that is the single greatest sign that you can go and speak to her. When you get to know a girl more and better, when you get to know a girl better, maybe you spend some more time with her, maybe in class or in work, or just, you know, you meet for a date or something. Some girls can be a little bit shy. I've noticed that there's been girls who are into me who struggle with holding eye contact. That seems to happen. It's almost like your eye contact, if you're a certain level of guy, is a little bit intimidating. So it's almost been like a joke that I've had, you know, for years, that the girl who I can tell is into me, and, you know, me and her are sat quite intimately, maybe about to, like, you know, so me and her are sat quite intimately, you know, it's nighttime or something, things are getting a little bit more heated. And I noticed that her eye contact's a little bit fleeting because, you know, there's a level of intimidation or something. But generally, if a girl is into you, she will kind of want to look at you more. She'll want to look at you, she'll want to hold your eye contact. But if she's not interested at all, maybe, you know, she'll look at you whilst she's just, maybe, you know, she'll look at you maybe while she's explaining, Maybe, you know, she'll look at you while she's giving you some like pleasantries. Oh, hi, how are you and stuff. But if she just doesn't seem to look towards you or hold your eye contact, that can be a sign that she's not that interested. I'm not giving some nobody extra attention, boys. If I don't know his name, then it's like, who is he? Who is he, boys? She doesn't keep eye contact. Number 6. Da-da-da. Number 6, number 10. I need some more. 10 signs she's not into you. What's a sign that she's not into you, boys? What is a sign that a girl's not into you? Somebody asked this guy that everyone's spamming his name. Somebody ask him what. I don't even know who he is, bro, but what is a sign that a girl is not into you? What is it? She doesn't keep eye contact. What's a sign that a girl is not into you, boys? I need 2 more ideas. She's dry as hell, yes. JX Samoy, whatever your name was, JX. She's dry as hell. I'm gonna take that. That's a good one. So that was, what's that? Number 6. Hang on. 7. I'll say number 6. Dry as hell. Who said that? Was it? His name was like J. Whoever typed "she's dry as hell," type one more time. Like, tell me your name. I'm gonna mention you in the video just then because that's a really good one. Your name was like Jay Samoy or something. What's a sign that she's not into you, boys? I need 2 more ideas. What should we teach our boys about to you know, be a little bit wary of some girl who's maybe playing them? Dry as hell. Yes, JX Samurai. I'm gonna say your name on stream, bro. JX Samurai. That's a fucking good one, bro. That's a really good. I didn't even have that wrote down actually. The 6th sign that she's not into you has just been suggested. Like, I'm live streaming right now, by the way. I've literally got the boys watching me as I record this video. And I just asked them what should be the 6th sign that a girl's not into you. And this guy called JX Samurai said, she's dry as hell. Now, this is something that so many guys are victims of, that you could be texting a girl and her conversations, like the way she texts you, is just dry. Like, it's just boring. She's not even that interested. Like, she's not even engaging you in a real conversation. You send her a big message, oh, you know what you do, and she's just like a little 1-word answer, 2-word answer, just boring, not even reflecting the conversation back at you, not asking you anything. The issue with this, which is what I've explained previously, is that she might still reply. Now, of course, like, I don't need to tell you that she's not into you if she doesn't reply to your messages. That's obvious, isn't it? Where young men get confused, and I was so bad for this, is that she replies, but she's still not interested. This is such a heartbreaking thing that I need to put into you and all the young men watching me live stream right now. Just because she replies to your text messages does not mean she's interested in you. It's kind of horrible to say, bro. Some girls are just so addicted to the dopamine that they get from their phone and, you know, from Snapchat and text messages and TikTok and all this shit, like Instagram DMs and stuff. Some girls are so addicted to the dopamine that they can get from messages that they'll just reply to you just because they're bored, and it kind of makes them feel good eventually that you'll reply back. If she's dry, if she's taking a long time to reply, if her messages aren't that nice and, you know, engaging, she's probably not that into you. And I've mentioned this story before a couple of times. It makes me seem really bad because I'm kind of like an asshole in this story. But there's been girls, but there's been girls, that this happened multiple times, but I'll tell you exactly with one. There was a girl that I was sleeping with about 2 years ago, and every time I would go and see her, so we'd literally like go fuck in the woods. So like every time I'd go see her, you know, we're playing around, we're playing music and stuff in the car and everything, and just I'd subtly see her phone when she'd use it for a minute. And on Snapchat, on Instagram, everywhere, Tinder and shit, bro, she literally had so many guys unopened messages on her phone. I've seen the same like concept with so many different girls. Like, they'll subtly just show that they've got like 10 guys messages on Snapchat that they've not opened. They've got 5 DMs right now that are unopened, and the last one's like 4 hours ago. When I saw this, this was the time, so this was about 2 years ago, this was the time that, forgive me for sounding like cringe, but this was the time that I really understood that I wasn't like a normal guy and I was becoming more and more like alpha, like some high level guy. Because I was not this guy who was being left on red. I was the guy sat next to this girl, about to have sex with her, or just had sex with her. And there was a bunch of these chumps who were still sending her messages. She's replying 4 hours later. This is somewhat controversial advice, because a lot of like, modern day people don't like this, but bro, if she's taking hours to reply to your messages, she's not that interested. And everyone disagrees with this, and they're like, no, she could just be busy. The thing is, bro, there is not a single time that some girl out there is not next to her phone for 4 hours. If you are her top priority, if you're a guy that she's actually into and that she wants to date or meet, she's going to reply faster to you. She's dry as hell. That was a big one. Can we get... How many do we need more? We need 2 more. 2 more ideas, boys. 2 more ideas of something that happens when a girl is not into you. She doesn't seem interested in your passion/interests. Civil War guy. She doesn't seem interested in your passions. That is probably one, isn't it? Yeah, if she's not interested in your stuff, she's probably not that into you. She doesn't reach out to you. Talks about her... Oh, that's fucking disgusting, bro. How many guys here have been with a girl who starts talking about her ex or some other guys? That's, bro, nothing is more disgusting. When a girl does that, when you're chilling with a girl and she starts talking... I need to say, okay, someone just said, literally, we're still live streaming, someone just said another idea that I could talk about, a sign that a girl's not into you, is that she starts talking about other guys. And I've just started ranting to the stream, literally just telling them, like, I don't mean to be, like, sexist or misogynist, but it's literally fucking disgusting. If you're trying to date a girl, if you're trying to, like, hook up with her or something, and she starts speaking about her ex, and she starts speaking about, like, some other guy that she's fucked or some other guy that she's dated, maybe I'm different or something, but I'm pretty sure this is almost like a universal trait in men. It just does something inside of us that just gets us, like, this weird, like, repulsive, agitated feeling of, like, we don't want to hear about, like, previous guys that you've been with. Interestingly, this might not be a total sign that she's not into you, because I've had girls who are totally into me, who literally, like, I'm hooking up with right there, right then, who tell me about some other guys. And so, of course, if they're hooking up with me, that must mean that they like me. And if they're telling me about other guys, then maybe this isn't a sign that she doesn't like you. But it's maybe just more of a sign of, like, a red flag that she's maybe, like, a lower quality girl. So we'll give that as, like, an extra bonus. What else, boys? She invites her friends. Should you... Oh, bro, that's a fucking good one. Nicholas Hernando. So that one was a bonus one, number 7. So I'll still say number 7 then. Nicholas Hernando, number 8. She invites her friends. Number 8, she doesn't want to be alone with you, and so she invites her friends to come, like, meet you, and maybe you're going for a date. This was just suggested by a guy watching our stream right now, Nicholas Hernado. And it's one that I've actually heard, like, this has never really happened to me, but I've heard that this has happened to other guys where they'll go on a date with a girl, and she'll literally just show up with one of her friends. That must be so, like, just uncomfortable, just awkward, like... Best case scenario is, like, you meet the girl, you get one-on-one time, so you're able to establish rapport, and maybe you can escalate some things. But if she's bringing, like, one of her girlfriends with her, it kind of destroys that possibility. Now, one thing to note, I will tell you a story, actually. She could potentially bring her friends to just kind of slightly vet you first, and then still go on to sleep with you. So there was actually one time that this happened, not to me, but, like, to some, essentially, like, a female friend of mine did this. So there was a girl that I was sleeping with who I ended up, like, dating and getting serious with in university. And me and this girl had this other female friend that we were all close to. Then this other female friend, I think it was on Tinder or something, but she, like, matched with some guy who was really attractive, and then they were gonna meet today. Then she calls me and my girl and says, like, he's coming today, but I'm not really sure, like, can you guys, like, come wait in my room, and, we'll all, like, speak to him, we'll all chill with him. So of course, like that's almost like a bad sign for that guy, right? I'm not gonna lie, the guy was a fucking Chad. He was like a marine or like some army guy. Came in, established a rapport. I liked him. My girl liked him. Our friend, female friend, liked him. We all go out for drinks and everything. And so it was kind of awkward. Like he didn't seem to be awkward. He didn't seem to be intimidated or like find it weird or anything. It was just kind of like we were just in her room, just saying, oh yeah, we're just chilling. Oh, let's go out for drinks and stuff. He comes out for drinks with us, hits it off with the girl. They go back and actually end up having sex and like she had a good time with him. So it's not totally a bad sign if a girl wants her friends to be around when you first meet, but you've got to like judge this with your own perception. If it seems like the reason that this is happening, like a girl doesn't want to be alone with you, is because she thinks you're creepy. That's not a good sign. But if it's potentially happening more so because she wants her friends to evaluate you, that could be a good sign, and it could actually show like a level of quality in the girl, because a quality girl does care about what the people in her network, her friends, her family think about the guy that she's gonna date. That was number 7. Invites friends. Number 7. We've got 3 more, and I think I've got some ideas already. We got so many people watching this live stream. Let's go, boys. This is such an easy way for me to just produce more content, isn't it? Dropping hints that she's not looking to date. I don't like that one, actually. I've never been through that myself. Boom. So 7, invites friends. This one I've done as well. She's always cancelling plans. Okay, we need 3 more, boys. We need 3 more to get to 10. Who wants to suggest another one? Anyone got 3? We need 3. 3 more signs that she's not into you. So this is number 8. 3 more signs that she's not into you. When she gives you mixed feelings. That's a good one for Fayaz. When she gives you mixed feelings. Okay, that's a good one. That's a very good one, Fayaz. Actually, that gets deep. The eighth sign that we're going to discuss, and this one gets quite deep. The 8th sign that we're going to discuss that she's not into, and this one gets quite deep, was just recommended by another guy called Fayaz Al-Sarani. and he said, when she gives you mixed feelings. What I've learned through my years of dating, and what I've learned through my experiences of dating, is that when a girl is totally into you and you're going to have such an amazing time with her, there is absolutely no mixed feelings inside of you. Instead, it's almost like the opposite. You almost have this level of like blissful certainty when you know that she's yours. And that is one of the greatest feelings for men that I really hope that you get with the next girl that you're interested in, where you have this level of like confidence where like, yeah, well, of course she's into me. Of course she really wants me. That feels amazing for guys. It makes you feel so responsible and masculine and focused on the things that matter. On the other hand, a sign that she's not into you is that you actually feel mixed towards her. You feel a little bit like neurotic and anxious and like uncertain if she's into you. That feeling to have, like, whether this girl that you like is not into you or potentially not into you, you don't really know. It's such a negative feeling, and it's so distracting from the things that really, really do matter. Maybe you're going through your studies, maybe the exam season's coming up, maybe you really want to focus on your work, and yet when you're trying to study, when you're trying to work, when you're trying to focus in the gym, you're thinking about her, you're overthinking, why hasn't she replied and stuff. Personally, like, I don't really get into situations like that anymore. Like, for the past like month, maybe year or so, I respect myself too much to get into a situation with a girl who I'm not sure if she likes me. Now, of course, she can take some time, to vet me and to get to know me, fine. But if I get mixed feelings from a girl, if I kind of think, I get this negative feeling inside of me, these negative thoughts, like, oh yeah, maybe she doesn't like me, maybe she's sleeping with someone else, maybe, she thinks I'm a chump or something. I don't want to stay in that kind of situation. A lot of young guys don't really have the confidence or the self-respect to, really force this into their life. And so what often happens with so many young guys is that they'll just be so distracted because they're just getting like these weird thoughts about this, neurotically thinking about this girl, and maybe this is you right now. Maybe like through this entire video, you've literally just been thinking about this one girl, and you have this anxious feeling about her because you literally don't even know where you stand, and that's not a nice like place to be in. The the absolute truth is, and this is gonna hurt to hear if you are, experiencing this right now. The truth is, if she liked you, if she really was into you, you would not have any mixed feelings at all. If she likes you and she was going to be a good addition into your life, you would not be like uncertain about it. I will say this again because it's very importantly. I will say this again because it's very important. If she was going to be a good addition to your life, you would not have a feeling of uncertainty. And likewise, if she's probably not going to be a good addition to your life, you probably will feel uncertain. Because let's say best case scenario, you feel really uncertain, you've got these mixed feelings, you don't know if she likes you, you're neurotically thinking about her, and you're thinking, okay, what's she doing? Is she messaging someone else? Is she into me or something? Let's say best case scenario, she ends up being into you. You realize it, and she's like, oh yeah, I actually like you. And you feel really good and stuff. But the thing is, when you've got this kind of energy, chances are, like, it's not just going to be like sweet after this. Chances are you might even end up dating this girl or getting into a serious relationship, and you're still going to have those kinds of feelings. A girl who's going to be such a great compliment to your life, you're not going to be feeling like weird about. That was a good one, bro. What was that one again? 8. I've got short-term memory loss. What did I literally just talk about for the past 5 minutes? Fuck, my brain just froze, bro. I don't even know what I talk about. 8. So that was number 8. I completely just forgot what I just said, bro. My memory just faded. Let's go. Number 9. We need 2 more, boys. 2 more. 2 more. Come on. Let's go. Oh, she's on her phone every time. Adil. Oh, she's on her phone. Yeah, that's a good one. Adil. Number 9, she's on her phone, distracted whilst you're trying to spend time with her. And this was just suggested by a guy called Adil. Imagine you're trying to go on a date with this girl, and she said yes, and it feels so awesome. So you go on to a date, and then she's just distracted and mindless because she's like literally on her phone whilst you're there. And you're on self-improvement, so you're not using your phone that much. And so literally she's like this, texting away, and you're just sat there just kind of like looking at her across the table. And me and my girl actually witnessed this. We were in London Canary Wharf a few weeks ago in a restaurant there, and this like Asian couple, like quite young, Asian guy, Asian girl next to us were on like a date together. And this guy, bro, like even my girl was saying, like he was being such a gentleman. He literally pulled open the chair for her, went and got the food and everything, asked her like really nice questions about herself. And bro, she was literally just there, just fucking typing away on her phone. Like, she was like kind of like answering whilst like doing this while speaking to him. And me and my girl literally had like this a little bit of a desire to almost like, it's rude, so we didn't do it, but like to kind of say to him like, bro, like you're better than her. Honestly, you're better than her. Like, yeah, she was a pretty girl, but like a pretty girl who's got a dead personality, who's just distracted and stuff, like that's not a catch. Honestly, that's not a catch at all. If you a lot of what we've already discussed today just comes down to like self-respect, bro. If you respect yourself and you really want to be like, a man of honor, you want to get more closer to being like Adonis, don't allow something like this into your life. Don't go onto a date with a girl and she's just distracted on her phone. This hasn't happened to me like that significantly, but I can just think of like subtle memories that, I'm with some girl that I'm hooking up with or something, and she's just on her phone for like a little bit, she's doing something, but like it's never been like such a huge problem. But even then, I don't like when someone is like using technology whilst I speak to them. And so with the girls that I'm a little bit more intimate with, if for example I'm like, speaking to her, she's like texting away, I'll literally just kind of grab her phone in a playful way and like throw it away or something, and obviously get more intimate with her. The beautiful thing about my girl right now the beautiful thing about my girl is like she literally uses technology less than I do. Like I thought I was quite extreme with this. I thought I was, you know, the guy who like barely uses his phone and everything, bro. She literally uses her phone and her like she has a laptop, but I've not even seen her use it so much less. The first I don't know if I should tell you the story, but like the first sort of day that I spent with her in Thailand, I remember that it was literally okay. The day we're checking out of the villa that me and Sam were staying in Thailand, and so me and her are in my bedroom, and then out of nowhere we just hear a knock on my door, and it's not Sam because obviously he just shouts out. So we're like, what the fuck? So I open it, and it's literally the people who own the villa. It's like, you know, it's time to check out. So they came over to see, like, you know, like the last day you're in somewhere, so like maybe they'll look around to see if there's any damages or whatever like that. They start, like, you know, so I speak to them, alright, fine, so, you know, and they're like, oh yeah, we're just here, we'll just have, you know, scan everything, okay, fine. So I tell them, okay, fine. I close the door, me and my girl like just, you know, busy. Then these guys just keep knocking on like every like 5-10 minutes. Oh yeah, there was this damage, like, sorry to interrupt, there was this damage. So imagine literally 5 times, more than 5 times, I had to kind of like stop being with my girl and, you know, go outside to like speak to these guys who own the villa, and, you know, eventually I had to like pay some bills because like we burnt down the place. I'm not gonna lie, like there was a fire in my room and everything. I should tell this story at some point, but essentially, you know, there was a bunch of damages. I had to speak to these guys, apologize, pay like a bunch of money and stuff. You know what was interesting? What drastically increased how much I fell in love with my girl. Every time that I stepped out for a few minutes to talk to these guys and came back in, she was literally just waiting there. She was just waiting there, and the moment I walked in, she was just like already looking at me. I expected every time that I walked out and back in that, you know, she'd be just like, quickly, you know, just doing something like that. Not once. Imagine how much of a man you feel like that every time you go in to, like, you know, see your girl, you know, she's in the room or something, you walk in and she's literally there waiting for you. Think about how fucking turned on you would be when a girl is there waiting for you instead of just, oh, quick, dopamine. Like, that's such a beautiful green flag that I saw in her. And so, of course, the red flag is the sign that she doesn't like you. She's just on her phone too much. And I don't think we should be very, like, you know, offensive about this, because we know just how, like, bad the addictions are to the, you know, this modern technology. And so she's not a bad person for being like addicted to a phone. She's really not, because we know how hooked. She's not a bad person, and so she's not a bad person for how addicted she is to her phone, because we know how like hooking these like platforms are. We know what they do to, like, you know, trigger your addiction and to make you stay on the platform for longer. So she's not a bad person for this, but it is kind of a sign that she's not that into you, because a girl, again, who really, really sees you really highly, she'll place you as the priority above just checking Snapchat quickly. But boys, we have one more. Last one. What is the last and final sign that a girl's not into you? Because I think that was number 9, wasn't it? The 10th sign that a girl is not into you is that your name is Aravind. Last one, boys. Come on. Someone give me a really good one. Doesn't go outside, doesn't listen to you. We want like a really good one to end off with. Number 10, boys. What is the 10th sign? Aravind said when she's dating you. Aravind. I'm not gonna lie, Aravind. You make me smile a lot, bro. I'm actually glad that you're here, man. You're a funny guy, bro. Come on, number 10, boys. What is the 10th sign that she's not into you? What is a really good one? My laptop's gonna die, so let's get this one quick, and then I'll get my charger. What is a sign, boys? What is a sign that a girl's not into you, and it's like a universal sign that happens very often? So not like a very specific one, but what's one that you and your boys have all experienced? A sign that she's not into you, that she doesn't like you. And of course, you know, guys can kind of get mixed up. They kind of like fall in love with a girl who doesn't even like them. Lele, bro, that's a good one. Talks to you online and says how much she likes you, but IRL she doesn't show much. That's a pretty good one, to be honest. Cancels plan. We've done that one. We've done cancels plan or it keeps rescheduling. A sign that a girl's not into you. Well, come on, the last one. What's the best one we can get, boys? What is the most important sign that a girl's not into you? What's a sign that so many guys just miss out on? When she puts a restraining order on you. Puts you in the friend zone is a good one. Is that as common as I think it is? Is the friend zone as common as we think it is? It like a proper problem that a bunch of guys go through? Like, how many guys here, if you spam one right now, spam one if you've ever been friend zoned by a girl. Spam one if you've ever been friend zoned, if a girl's ever told you, like, oh, let's just be friends. And spam two if you've never had that kind of rejection. Obviously, it's a rejection, but spam two if you've never had that kind of rejection before. Maybe you've been rejected in other areas, but not by this. Spam one if you've been friend zoned, spam two if you've never been friend zoned before. I can't type right now, but I'd press one. I've been friend zoned before. Oh, my laptop's gonna die. Fuck. Yeah, it is pretty common, isn't it? It is. Yeah, it is pretty. So the girl just kind of. I think that should be the 10th one. The 10th sign that she's not into you is that she asks you to just be friends instead. There's quite a lot of twos as well, actually. Yeah, we'll go with it. I think this is a good one. And finally, the 10th sign that she's not into you is that she friend zones you and asks you, oh, can we just be friends instead? I said once, I used to make like very red pill videos a while ago, and I said once that the thing is, hot alpha guys still get friend zoned in a certain way, but not like how you think. To the chump, like to the beta male, she'll say like, can we just be friends? And she obviously doesn't want to be friends with you. But about the alpha male, she'll be talking about him when she says, oh, but no, but he's just a friend. How she describes you and kind of what kind of relationship she wants with you is the biggest indicator by far of if she likes you or not. There's a phrase which I really like, which is observe her actions, not her words. Because a lot of girls, like, they don't mean to be bad people, but a lot of girls can often lead like a guy on, and they can kind of promise him like a relationship or anything, say that they're interested, reply back and stuff. But it's in the end, but in the end, it's her actions that matter. And if her actions are showing that she just wants to be friends with you and just pleasantly talk to you, then that's not a good sign that she actually likes you. But if her actions are showing that, she wants to date you, she wants to sleep with you, she wants to be intimate with you, then of course, then she likes you. But the thing is, if you've watched this far of this, but the thing is that if you've watched this far of the video, you knew that already. You knew that if a girl liked you. But the thing is, if you watched this far of the video, you knew that already. You knew that if she dated you and slept with you, yeah, she likes you. So the issue that a lot of guys get stuck in is that the issue that a lot of guys are getting stuck in is that when they're not seeing the real action from her show attraction, they listen to her words. And so when she says, oh, let's just be friends, like, they've got this glimmer of hope. They get friend zoned, but they're like, oh, well, we're friends, and I might be able to like change her mind after a while. She's not saying, can we just be friends, to the guy that she actually likes and wants to be with. Of course not. Because if she actually liked you, if she wanted to be with you, if she wanted to sleep with you, she wouldn't say, "Oh, let's just be friends." Like she'd pursue that. And maybe, she'd tell you some other kind of excuse or rejection. Like, "Oh, no, I'm really sorry. I'm not, I really don't want to date right now. I really do like you, but like my parents won't let me." Okay, that's something different. But if she's kind of just giving you like, "Oh, let's just be friends," like chances are she doesn't actually want to be friends with you. She just doesn't like you enough, and she's not very good at like rejecting people, honestly. Whew, that was 10. This is the longest video I've done in a while, man. This isn't. Thank you, baby. Oh, thank you. Will you plug it in for me, baby? Is there a? Oh, this one. Yeah. Sweet. Thank you. See this, boys. I say on. Are you watching the stream right now? Are you watching the stream? What did I say, boys?
When you said that, I literally went so red.
What did I say? I told you she was in there thinking about me. She literally just came in here, passed me my laptop charger because I said it on stream that I needed the charger. And I just said, like, "Are you watching the stream?" She's in the other room just watching watching me stream. This is a really long and quite detailed video that I've wanted to make for you because the relationship problems you can go through, especially when you're young and not so experienced with girls, can really, really mess up your mind. And I've been there myself. I've seen my friends experience, like getting led on by girls, or she's texting in a dry way, or she's not coming to meet you. And it's a very like sad sort of common experience for guys. I think another issue is that I see a lot of like dating advice out there, which I swear is kind of like Jeffrey propaganda, which tells young men not to follow like what we've talked about today, and it tells them, to be okay with her cancelling because she's not ready or something. The more you improve yourself and the more you respect yourself, you'll start to set higher standards for the girls that are in your life. And that's the best case scenario, because then the girl that you do actually allow into your life is just up there. And that's what I wish for you. Click and watch this video right now. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah! Sweet. That was a long ass video, boys. W in the chat for that 40-minute video. That was 40 minutes, boys. That's going to be such a good video. Okay, we've got a few options for the next video that I'll record. We can do... Let's see. This is a good one. Okay, we can do, for the next videos, spam which one you want me to do, okay? We can do, these 15 things are keeping you poor. Or we can do, 3 secrets. Hang on. Should we do this one? I want to do a money one, actually. Thinking rich. Okay, boys, help me decide between these 2 videos, which I'll record next. The first one is, these 15 things are keeping you poor. And the second one is 7 skills that will make you rich. Which one shall I record right now? These 15 things are keeping you poor, or 7 skills that will make you rich. Which one do you want to see me record? 15 things that keep you record, or 7 skills that will make you rich. 15 things that will keep you poor, or 7 skills that will make you rich. Spam which one you want to see right now. We got quite a lot of everyone spamming 1, yeah. Yeah, it seems like 1. Sweet. Yeah, we'll do number 1. Well, we'll do both of them, but I'll do number 1 first. Let me. I'm just gonna go to the toilet quick. We're drinking a lot of coffee today. Sounds like a trump. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. How's the physique looking, by the way? Yeah. No, I'm not wearing anything different, bro. I like my uniform. Actually, let me leave that open for a little bit. Delicious. Okay. So we did 10 signs she's not into you. Which one was everyone saying? Number 1, these 15 things are keeping you poor. And number 2, wait, what we'll do is, number 1, these 15 things are keeping you poor. Or, number 2, a book summary of Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Number 1, these 15 things are keeping you poor. Number 2, Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins book summary. 1 for things keeping you poor, and 2 for David Goggins. We got a bunch of 1s. Oh shit, is Goggins not as popular as I thought he would be? Oh, we got a bunch of 2s. 1 or 2, boys. 1 for things keeping you poor and 2 for Goggins. Two, 1. We'll do 2. We'll do David Goggins. I'm excited for this. The 40% rule. 40% rule. Yeah, I really like the 40% rule, actually. Okay, let's do it. Jeffrey has finally mustered up the motivation to go for a run. He slips his trainers on and begins to run down the street. But Jeffrey doesn't even know how. He's smashing his heels against the road, thinking, why do my shins hurt so much? And suddenly, out of nowhere, Jeffrey gets an intense pain in his side. He can barely breathe. Ah, a stitch! Is running always this painful? I'm gonna need so many days to recover. And I'll take a couple of days off, and then I'll definitely run after that. Jeffrey barely believes his own cope. Jeffrey barely believes his own cope. Adonis. Adonis races through the field. He's been running for 2 hours straight and his body is yearning for him to quit. But Adonis never quits. This is so painful. That's good. That means I'm growing. My legs are gonna hurt tomorrow, but I'll push through it. The harder I work, the better results I'll get. An hour later, Adonis has finished the marathon. Actually, we'll take the last sentence out, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna tell I've got a good fucking story with this now. I lived like a total degenerate in 2019 and the start of 2020. And I remember just skipping so many workouts. Like, the gym meant a lot to me, but I would just skip so many workouts because I didn't really feel like it. I was too tired, or, like I don't have enough energy. And I'd just be eating like shitty junk food and smoking weed. I was like one of those guys, right? But the gym still meant a lot to me. And at one point, I just questioned, like, why am I missing so many of my workouts? I want to go get athletic. I want to go build like a really nice physique. I realized the secret to never missing a workout ever again. And you can steal this from me if you want. I realized that the way I felt before I would go and do a workout should not be considered. I would feel too tired, almost a little bit intimidated, a little bit scared of going to, it's just too tired. I'm too tired. I just want to stay inside. Oh, I'll do a bigger workout tomorrow. I'll do 2 workouts tomorrow. I realized that was just all cope. And I thought to myself, okay, what if I just put one foot in front of the other, get changed, put my gym clothes on, just, like I'm still tired, but yeah, just walk towards the gym. I'm still tired. Put my earphones in and everything. I'm still tired. Warm up, stretch. And suddenly you don't feel as tired when you're in the middle of the gym. You've got your earphones in. Maybe you've drank some pre-workout. And that became the secret to huge consistency and also discipline for me. I started doing the hard work, especially when I didn't feel like it. May 2020, I moved out of the city, the apartment I was living in. I moved back home to my family's home. And I promise you, my discipline was unmatched. Obviously not to the extent of like David Goggins, but for my age and my kind of personality, I had never been I had never been a very disciplined guy before this. But suddenly I was waking up at 5 a.m. for the foot. But suddenly I had never been a very disciplined guy before this. I was just a normal guy who played video games. I played a lot of like RuneScape, Minecraft, League of Legends. I was that kind of guy. And suddenly I started waking up at 5 a.m. when it was still dark outside and literally just, put my clothes on, going for a run outside in the dark with a weighted backpack. So I'd put like weights inside of a backpack, go for a run. Bro, I wasn't even good at running. I could literally run for like 1 to 2 minutes, but I built it up. I could barely run for 1 to 2 minutes. And a few months later, I ran my first ever 10K of my entire life. I started a new style of training I started a new style of training with the gymnastic rings, and this was, in the COVID lockdown, all the gyms were closed, and a lot of guys were just, being complacent and lazy at home. I literally bought a pair of these, like, this equipment, this ring. I bought this equipment, like these, like, rings and straps that you can, like, attach to stuff, and I just essentially turned, like, a park, like a tree, into, like, a mini gym. So I'd wake up early, pitch black outside, go for a run, 1 mile, 2 mile with a weighted backpack, and then go train in the fucking dark. Imagine, like, I probably scared some people, I'm not gonna lie. Imagine if you were just for some reason going for a walk at 5:30, 6 a.m. through like a nice park, and you just see like a big brown guy just like hanging on the tree, just doing fucking dips and pull-ups with like aggressive rap music, like grunting and shit. Imagine you saw me at 5 a.m. literally doing ring dips in the dark, bro. That was literally that. Like, think about the difference of my life when I was literally just a complacent guy smoking weed every day to being out there pitch black in the rain, in the cold. There was a time when like the whole park flooded with like, there's so much rain and everything, literally to the point that my shoes were fully covered in like liquid mud, and I was still there training every single day. When I see the difference in my physique during this time period where it was kind of like, I was still somewhat in shape, but it was kind of like fluffy and a higher body fat percentage than I really wanted. And then just months later, when I looked like lean and shredded, I look back and all I can tell you is being disciplined is an amazing thing. If there's one book that you should read in terms of becoming more disciplined, it's David Goggins' autobiography, and it's called Can't Hurt Me. It goes through his life story where he started off with like, an unideal childhood. He was literally being abused and traumatized by his father, and eventually, he moves out, he escapes like the problems, but he's struggling in school, and I think a lot of us can relate to that. Eventually, he gets older, but he becomes quite a complacent, overweight, lazy, just young man struggling with like jobs and everything. And he looks back on his time like this is an icon that we can really imitate. He can be like a role model for us, and he is a role model for so many people. He went through so many challenges and overcame them through the use of discipline, which is what I'm going to walk you through, like some of the lessons he's taught. But his life story, and it's a real story, is incredible. Being a young kid who's getting abused by his father, then eventually being really, really overweight and fat. Like he's got like trauma and anxiety, so he's overeating and everything. Till eventually he joins the Navy SEALs. Or, he fails to get in like 3 times first, and he's literally like, you probably heard his story. He's running on broken legs. Like, this is a full-on, probably the most disciplined man in the entire world, doing ultra marathons on broken legs, and like his story just blows your mind. Honestly, there's an interview of this author that we're talking about. Well, he's not even an author. He's like just a disciplined ex-Navy SEALs guy who eventually wrote a book, and he's done an interview with Joe Rogan. And when you see, we look up to Joe Rogan. When you see Joe look at David Goggins with so much like awe of like, wow, how did you do that? It's like, oh shit, like this is Goggins is like a top tier disciplined man. there is one main key insight or takeaway. There is one main takeaway from this book and from Goggins' life, which he says it. There is one main takeaway from this book and from David Goggins' life, which he says it himself, which is to callous your mind. You know what callous means? Callous is like, this shit that you can, if you train weight. You know what callous means? Like calloused. Like you see this shit here. Like callus is like when your skin kind of hardens if you use it in a particular way. So for example, if you do like a lot of weight training or calisthenics, you start to like build up like this little hard, you see that like hard skin here? It calluses. So the first time, before I ever had this callus here in my fingers and I went to go train with some weights, it was painful to grip it. There was a lot of friction, a lot of pain. But over time, now that I've been weight training for many, many years, it's like my hands have calloused, which means that it's actually better and easier for me to now grab the weights. A very cool, a very interesting and beneficial mindset that Goggins teaches is to callous your mind. And there's real scientific proof of this, but essentially what he's saying is go and do some hard shit that eventually feels like, and there's real scientific proof of this, but what he's simply saying is go and do some hard, painful shit, which is extremely, painful and overwhelming right now. But if you consistently keep doing it, your mind, your whole body, your soul will callous so that what you're doing right now, which is painful, becomes like your new baseline, and you've literally just increased how much shit you can take. You literally increase your tolerance to pain. There's real scientific proof of this, which is so interesting. I've just spent the last few days researching and learning about dopamine. And if you can understand dopamine and then also look into David Goggins, you will be so amazed. Dopamine, which you've heard before, it's like this neurotransmitter, like kind of like a hormone. I'm not very smart sciencey shit, right? So I'm gonna give you the bro science. Dopamine is like this neurotransmitter, kind of like a hormone inside of us that causes the feeling of motivation. So dopamine is like the motivation hormone. It's the thing that makes us crave something. Now, dopamine goes up when we do something which is like too hyper-stimulant and it gives us too much pleasure. So if we watch porn, our dopamine goes through the roof. If we eat junk food, dopamine goes through the roof. Too much pleasure will skyrocket our dopamine, and that's an issue because higher dopamine is really good, and that's an issue because higher dopamine is really good, but dopamine has this weird seesaw effect that if you increase it through pleasure, it'll eventually go down below baseline. So think about this. If a young man starts watching porn, his dopamine goes through the roof because that's a really pleasurable thing. There's huge craving, huge motivation to watch porn. But we know what happens. We know that pleasure doesn't last forever, does it? He watches porn, feels amazing. The next day he does it again. 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 He does it almost every single day for years and years and years till eventually he's watching porn 3 times a day. Till eventually he's got a real addiction. And so what happens? Well, at once, the pleasure shot through the roof and he felt amazing. Eventually, it switches over like this seesaw, and now he experiences the other side of this equation, pain. When you spike up your dopamine through pleasure, through bad activities, you get a little bit of pleasure right away, but then pain starts to occur. And we know this. If you eat junk food right now, it feels pleasurable, but then after the pleasure's gone, But then after the pleasure is gone, the pain starts. And once you understand this, you start to see how fucked up the modern world is. Because you see everyone's chasing pleasure. You see everyone's hyper indulging in their phone and social media and all these things that give us pleasure without really knowing that pain will occur because of this. And so all these people who are addicted to pleasure, fast dopamine, they eventually go and experience a lot of pain and addiction. That's how dopamine works, but that's a part of how dopamine works in a very simple to understand way. But what's very interesting, what I've just recently learned from the scientist Andrew Huberman, is that in a weird way, if we pursue pain, not pleasure, but if we pursue pain and we experience pain first, well, of course we'll have the spike of pain. But since there's a seesaw effect, the spike of pain eventually goes away and the pleasure increases for the long-term benefit. If we go and do some hard workout today and it's painful, so pain's spiked up. But the moment we finish that workout, what happens? Well, the pain starts to go away. and pleasure starts to happen. Like we start to feel good about ourselves. How about when we want to go and study and do some like good work on our laptops? Well, it feels a little bit painful, doesn't it? It feels like a little bit like, annoying or agitating or frustrating or, kind of like it's mentally demanding to go and do some hard work, isn't it? So it's a little bit painful. But again, what happens after you go and do some hard work and you're productive? The pain goes away once you're done. And then the pleasure starts to go up because it's like, oh, I just I just accomplished something. So how interesting is it that if you actually really want a good amount of pleasure, you should not seek pleasure like everyone else does. You should instead seek pain. You should seek to purposely be uncomfortable. You should seek to go and be you should seek to go and feel pain, to do something hard that actually kind of hurts a little bit, because we understand that dopamine is just like this seesaw. If we pursue pleasure, well then pain will be the long-term consequence. But if we pursue pain, well then pleasure will be the long-term consequence. And that, although Goggins doesn't explain like this sciencey shit inside of his book, that's what I've gotten from this, is that he is a guy who's purposely sought out pain and because of that been able to live a good life. And this is the beautiful thing about the concept of callousing your mind. Go and do something hard today, which feels literally needs to feel painful. But over time, it strengthens your ability to experience that same level of pain, and it makes you a stronger person. You've seen from the past 1 to 2 years of how important it is to become a strong man, especially in these hard times that are arising. The way to become a strong man is to go and choose pain and discomfort. And I'm going to give you a very interesting note with this, because if I ask you right now, what is something hard that a younger man could go and pursue and try? What's something like a pain he could experience? What's the number one answer that everyone's going to give right now? What is something that a young man could go and do which is difficult? Well, pretty much everyone's going to say go to the gym, aren't they? And that answer can be good, but this is something that you've got to it clicked for this is something that clicked for me, and maybe it'll be really interesting for you. This is something that clicked for me, and maybe it'll be interesting for you. Going to the gym is painful for some people, so this would be, it would work for them, fair enough, that's good. But for some other people like myself, going to the gym isn't actually painful anymore. Going to the gym is actually pleasurable. How interesting is this? For you to get the benefits of what Goggins saying here, you have to choose things that are still relatively painful for you today and not just conventionally seen as painful. A lot of people think exercise is hard and stuff, but maybe you're so advanced in your journey. A lot of people think exercise is really hard and painful, but maybe you're so advanced in your journey that it's not. Of course, there's a level of pain and stuff when you're working hard, but it's got a huge element of pleasure for it now, which means that if you've got to that point, you need to start to pursue something which is refreshed and painful to begin with again. The idea for this is that you should be doing things that are relatively painful for the rest of your life. After a while of doing something that's painful, like for example studying, it becomes pleasurable after a while because you get good at it, because you get positive feedback and you start to enjoy it. At that point when that painful thing has become pleasurable, you need to find something painful again. This is what I fear, that a lot of guys who are on self-improvement, who have been doing the right things, might end up feeling a bit complacent because the thing that used to challenge you, the thing that used to give you pain, no longer does. So you right here, right now, just take a second to ask, is there something that you're consistently doing that feels painful? The answer to that question should be yes, every week for the rest of your life. Maybe you're watching this and you're thinking, wait, this, it seems like the truth, but it seems kind of daunting. It seems daunting to go and pursue something that's hard and difficult, and I agree with you. Because in the modern world, we're so convinced to go and choose the easier thing that's more pleasurable. And now that you understand how, briefly how dopamine works, and also the concept that Goggins wants us to invoke to be more disciplined, to chase more pain, you realize how the world is so messed up that we're all pursuing You realize that the world is so messed up because we're all pursuing pleasure instead. the thing that I like most about this book is that there's a lot of like mindset and mentality training here. Some people often overlook this and say like, like improving someone's mindset isn't that important, just go and do the work and stuff. I found personally that having the right mindset, having the right kind of belief system is essential for the things that you want to do. And so Goggins gives this kind of new mindset for you to hold, which I think is absolutely incredible, which has helped me personally, and that is the 40% rule. He says that the 40% rule is this concept that when you think you're at your end, like you're at your limit with how far you can push in terms of the pain that you can experience. He says that you're actually only at around 40% of your capacity. How interesting is that? So imagine we do how interesting is that? So imagine we go and do something hard and painful. Imagine we go and take a cold shower. The moment that we think, okay, I need to step out, it's too much, okay, I'm going to step out now. The moment that we feel that feeling that we're at 100% capacity, Goggins is actually saying that we're probably around 40 instead, and that it's a skill to tap into the rest of it. You see, your brain really wants you to escape pain far faster than actually your limitation. And you know what? One of my first ever videos, if you scroll all the way down, before Goggins even wrote his book, I explained this concept in a really old video. I've said that I've seen people in the gym. I've said that I've seen people in the gym, including myself, whose brains give up before their bodies actually do. Your body can go so much further than your brain can, but it's like this psychological weakness that we have to, like self-preservation, that we want to stop around halfway of what our limitation actually was. And quite frankly, bro, if you stop at around the 40% points, the 50% points, you're not going to become that successful. If you only do 40% as much as like you're actually truthfully capable of, you're not going to become that successful. The people who do the best, the guys who make the most muscle, who make the most money, they're the ones who realize that, when they've hit this like magical 40% limit and their brain's telling them, okay, enough, that's as much as I can take. It's almost like they'll have an argument in their own brain and say, no, I can do more. Does that sound like you? When you go and do something hard and your brain says, okay, stop, let's take a little break. Do you argue with your brain, or do you just let it just make you stay as a Jeffrey? Because there's a concept that I think that could help you here. Perhaps we should see that our brain has like two sides to it. It has the Jeffrey side and the Adonis side. The Jeffrey part of your brain will try to convince you to stop early. And you know this. The thing is, right? You're on self-improvements. You know what you should do. You know what you shouldn't do. And yet, even though you know these things, there is a Jeffrey part of your brain that tells you to do the bad thing, isn't there? Think about it. Your own brain sometimes isn't actually on your side. This should be so fucking interesting. Your own brain is sometimes not even on your side. Your own brain, you'll literally hear words in your mind that will tell you to do something bad that would like actually negatively affect your life. There is a part of your brain, the Jeffrey part of your brain, that actually isn't even on your side. You've wanted to quit porn and be on NoFap, but there's a part of your brain that literally says the words like, oh, fuck it, let's just do it anyway. That's the Jeffrey part of your brain. This, if you can understand this, bro, this is like advanced self-improvement. If you can understand this, bro, this is like advanced self-improvement. Be vigilant of the thoughts and desires that you get in your own brain, with your own voice, because sometimes that own voice will lead you astray. It's Jeffrey trying to just keep you at the same level because it's scared of making progress. When you're at about the 40% limits of pain, of difficulty, your Jeffrey brain will kick up and say, okay, come on, that's as much as we can do, slow down, okay, stop running now, get out of the cold shower, stop now. If you listen to the first thought that your brain gives you, well then you'll always stop around then. You'll always get to day 1 or day 2 of NoFap and you'll give up because you're trusting your own brain. It sounds weird as fuck, but honestly, a lot of times, especially if you're quite new to self-improvement, you can't even trust your own brain because your brain is just an enactment of the conditioning that you've been through. And so if you've been through the conditioning of like weak modern society, your brain will like pass that message on to you consciously. Sometimes you can't even listen to your own brain because your brain could be sending messages from Jeffrey, but there is a part of your brain that you probably don't use that much just yet. And I don't use that much just yet either. And that's the Adonis part of your brain. That is the part of your brain where you consciously say thoughts of encouragement, of empowerment, of discipline. Right here, right now, you can consciously implant a thought into your mind, can't you? You can say a word in your mind right now. Like literally hear your own voice in your brain say, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. You can hear your own voice, right? Well, that is the Adonis part of your brain. That is the manual, controllable part of your brain. The thing is, most people just allow the automatic Jeffrey part of their brain to dictate their lives. The automatic Jeffrey part of the brain tells them, oh, well, I don't really want to do the work right now. Maybe I'll do the work. I'll procrastinate. I'll do the work afterwards. At 7 p.m. I'll do the work. Tomorrow I'll do the work. Tomorrow I'll go to the gym. Oh, the next day I'll eat a little bit of the junk food, but just a little bit. And then tomorrow I'll eat less. Well, that's the automatic thoughts that just come. You don't manually think those thoughts, right? They just happen in your brain. And most people just trust that. But the most successful people like David Goggins seem to manually, forcefully implant the positive, real, good words into their brain. That's the Adonis part of your brain. So the next time that you catch your Jeffrey brain convincing you to be a little bitch, you're at 40% of your intensity and your Jeffrey's brain says, oh yeah, that's as much as you can do. You're not that great. Stop now because this is as much as, it's too painful. Okay, stop. This is as much as I've got to stop now. Hear that and implant your own words and say, shut the fuck up. No, I'm not going to stop right now. 20 more seconds. And you can try this right here, right now, bro. You could literally drop down and get into a plank. When you've got your feet on the floor and then also like your elbows and your forearms. Get into a plank. And this is the fastest way to find out if you've got this Jeffrey brain or not. Get into a plank right now and hold the plank for 30 seconds, 1 minute. And you'll start to hear your Jeffrey brain will start to pipe up. Of course, you're really aware of this. But there's going to be a point, even though you're so aware of this, that your Jeffrey brain is going to pipe up. I guarantee you don't act, even though it's painful, you don't even need to drop down at that point. Because you could, as soon as it says, okay, I'm really painful, it's time to drop down. Implant the word, no. 10 more seconds, 20 more seconds, 30 more seconds. That is the 40% rule. Understand that you've got so much more of a capacity to endure pain than you think. And the more pain that you experience, the stronger you become. The more calloused your mind becomes. And from what we've just learned about dopamine, the more pain that you experience, when this part of the seesaw goes higher, well then eventually it sways back. And then you start to feel way more pleasure. Think about the story I told you at the start of this video. I invoked discipline to move back home to my parents' house, start waking up early, start going on weighted runs. The cardio wasn't even my thing, and start training outdoors in a park, on some trees, bro. That was a hard thing, right? That was painful. And yet, look how I look back at that time with pride, with happiness, with gratitude. It was painful when I was running to the gym ring spot. It was painful when, I set up the gym rings and I started doing some dips and, the muscle hurt. It was painful. But as soon as the pain stopped, as soon as I got off the rings and packed them up and went back home, the pain's gone. All that's left is the pleasure and the sense of self-respect and self-love of that I did that hard thing. Once the pain is gone, all that's left is pleasure. But bro, once the pleasure is gone, all that's left is pain. If you do the wrong thing and you choose to pursue pleasure today, you will be left with pain. But if you do the right thing, even though it seems so counterproductive, and you pursue pain today, once the pain's gone, all that's going to be left is pleasure. And that's the good kind of pleasure. I would change the phrase that, once you've done something painful and then it leads to pleasure, I would probably change that phrase of pleasure more to purpose, fulfillment, satisfaction. There's a criticism that the author of this book that we're discussing today, David Goggins, gets. And I've actually, I'm not going to lie, I've gave him this criticism myself, which I feel a little bit ashamed for. And it's people who see this guy, who's waking up early to work out and he's training so hard. And people saying, oh, but he's overtraining. A lot of people have gave him this criticism. And the thing is well, yeah, of course he is. Of course he's overtraining. He's overtraining and he's not going to be building well, yeah, of course he's overtraining. He's overtraining and he's not going to be building the most effective workout routine to build muscle because you need to recover. But he's not doing this to build muscle. He's doing this to challenge himself and to feel pain. The fact that he's still going right now shows that he actually prefers living like this. when you're first when you're first starting off implementing this kind of advice to be more disciplined and to pursue more pain, you don't need to do it in a way that you're running 100 miles a day like Goggins seems to do. Well, you can just start it with something that is relatively painful for you today. For me, right here, right now, bro, that's cold showers. Honestly, like the cold, I've said this before, the cold has always been like painful for me. And so I've always avoided it. I've always chose comfort instead. And so recently I've gotten consistent in cold showers and I'm chasing that pain. And I think cold showers explain this perfectly because it's painful when you're in there. And the moment you stop to shower and you start to dry up, like literally 3 minutes later, you're dry now, you feel awesome. The cold shower is actually it's physically painful. It's annoying to be in there, bro. I don't like the cold, bro. The cold has always been like physically painful. There's some people who can be cold and it's cold. Cold has always been like fucking painful for me. I don't know why. And so getting into a cold shower is like my worst nightmare, and I've been doing it recently. And it hurts, it's painful, and yet literally just minutes after, there's a sense of like purpose, growth, self-respect, self-love, discipline, pride. Now imagine if you can go about your day with these micro moments of pain where you don't indulge in the pleasure that you want. You have this craving right now to check your phone and to, like reply to someone or to go onto YouTube or something. Maybe don't pursue that pleasure. Maybe experience the pain of just, no, I'm not going to use my phone for another 30 minutes. And then on the long term, this is a piece of advice I gave a while ago, which I really like. Maybe do some events, like something quite significant of an act of pain and discomfort. I remember the first time I did this in 2020. So this is even before I read this book, but I kind of understood the concept already. I went out and camped, I went camping for the first time in my adult life. And I specifically chose the day that there was going to be a thunderstorm. I went camping for the first time in my life in a thunderstorm on purpose. It was freezing cold. The rain was fucking horrible. Thunderbolt, literally, I was scared shitless. We set up the tent, me and my one friend who I went with, and literally scared that the tent was going to blow away. So much rain, literally hearing lightning and everything. Probably the most uncomfortable night and morning of my entire life. Honestly, like, it got to the point I broke down. I literally said to my friend, like, no, come on, let's just leave. Like, it was 7 p.m. I was telling him, let's just leave, let's just pack everything, let's just go, we'll just stay in a hotel and stuff. He helped me, like, calm down a bit. And so there was so much pain with that. And yet, the next day, when we wake up and it's not as cold anymore, and my friend says, oh, he's gonna, like, start, like, frying some food up. And so we sit there and we're eating, like, eggs and sandwiches and stuff. That was so blissful. And just an hour later, we pack up everything, we walk towards the train station. Our train's not running yet, so we just spend like 2 hours inside of this cafe. We get like a nice hot coffee, bro. That was, even today, I reminisce about that coffee. Like I'm sure the coffee wasn't even that nice, but imagine after just camping in a thunderstorm when you hate the cold, experiencing that much pain, and then just being sat there and actually experiencing like this blissful thing of like, bro, we did that. That's a memory that I've got over 2 years ago. And still today, it brings me like a sense of satisfaction because I chased the hard thing. Young men must understand this. Your life will be so much better if you chase discomfort and pain instead of comfort and pleasure. Click and watch this video right now. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah. Boom. That was a good ass video, wasn't it, boys? Can't hurt me. There you go. Boom. Which video should we do now, boys? We got quite a few I can go through. Let's see. These 15 things are keeping you poor. Three secrets to avoid dry text conversations. 7 skills video. What does NDL mean? 9.5 out of 10 video. Yeah, that's nice, man. Nico Defense League. I like that YouTuber actually. Which video should we do one on getting girls? I feel like a lot of my boys underplay how much they desire women, getting girls, and sex. Because I feel like, you know, the normal thing right now is to pretend like, oh yeah, well, women aren't good for you. Like, you should just focus on yourself, king. I wonder how many of you have the truth to say, like, yep, like, I want to get girls. Yep, I want to have sex. Yep, I want to date. Spam 1 right now if one of your desires is to get girls. And spam 2 if you're like, no, I don't give a shit. I'm focused on other things. I don't care about getting girls, sex, or dating right now at all. Because mostly guys are saying that they're not interested in getting girls, they're focused on other things. But then what I've seen from like real data, when I make a video on getting girls, it gets 3 times as many views. So if I did a poll right now and said, oh, do you want to see videos on getting girls? Everyone would be like, no, I'm focused on other things. I'm focused on yourself, king. And then when I do a video on getting girls, it gets 3 times as many views because all of you motherfuckers are horny. Am I right in thinking that? Yeah, it's mostly ones, isn't it? Spam 2 if you're not interested in getting girls or having sex or dating at all. And spam 1 if that's a part of your desire. Spam 1 if you do want to get girls, you do want to have sex and stuff, but like, you know, it doesn't have to be the most important thing, but it is part of like the things that you desire. 2 is like, nope, I don't give a shit. I don't want to think about girls right now. I'm focused on other things. Because every time I've asked this question, everyone I swear they just lie and they just say like, no, girls, focus on yourself, king. Then why do you motherfuckers just click on every fucking video I make about getting girls then? Why do those videos get 400k, 500, 700k views? Like every time I did a poll, everyone would say like, oh no, don't make videos on getting girls. Even the guys, when I mentioned that I might just record a video on getting girls now, like 3-4 guys started spamming like, oh no, like, you're interested in finding love and intimacy and affection. Like I dislike this modern day that we're in right now where guys can't admit this. I hate like this sort of you go boy, like you go king, sigma male, you don't need girls, just be lonely. Like I hate this fucking mentality that young men have got these days where we can't admit, yes, I want love, yes, I want relationships, and yes, bro, I want to have sex. We're not even like, it feels weird to admit that these days because you're so much cooler if you say, yeah, I don't care about girls, bro. Maybe if I am somewhat your role model, I will say this in front of 1,000 live viewers. I'm interested in dating. I'm interested in sex. I like having a woman by my side. It's like we're not allowed to admit that these days. It's like it's seen so bad. Like, oh, he's not a sigma male. Like, bro, fuck, man. It's a biological need. It's a fundamental psychological need as well that the psychologist Abraham Maslow put it in his lowest fundamental desire and need. He put it like this. Imagine this psychologist said that sex was as much of a core desire as drinking water, eating food, shelter, excreting. He said it was as much of a core desire as literally pooping, which is absolutely fucking essential, and air as well as breathing. A world-renowned psychologist said that sex was as important as breathing. And in the modern day, it's like we downplay it. It's like, oh yeah, you go, like, all these cringe videos I see of like this thing of like, yeah, you know, focus on yourself. Bro, fuck you, bro. Literally, I've always hated that advice. I never could relate to that shit ever, bro. I'm glad I didn't, bro, because honestly, I've got to the point now where I'm very, very happy with my relationship status. And I'm here today because I did think of getting girls, improving my SMV, being better at dating and sex as a part of my self-improvement journey. There's guys who don't think this, and there's guys who want to focus on other things like work and you know, their self-improvements, and then they end up just being lonely and really shit with girls. I'm glad at age 17 I started like autistically researching how to get better with girls, because now I'm fulfilled with that. I feel sorry for the guys who feel just totally against it. And I think the reality is going to hit them when, you know, they focus entirely on, focus on yourself, king. And then they're just like weird with girls and they're not attractive. And yeah, you can go build you can go make some money and get successful and stuff. But it's like, you need to have some good experiences with girls, man. I'm glad that, yeah, my boys seem to be actually quite understanding of this. Because I've seen some videos, man. I've seen some comments on my videos. People saying, "Oh, Hamza's making videos on getting girls. That's so shallow." Like, how? Am I the only one who feels this way? By the way, it's seen in the modern day as shallow to want to attract someone of the opposite sex. It's seen as shallow to want to get into a relationship. It's seen as shallow to want to have sex, intimacy, love. That, to me, maybe I'm like so totally wrong, but I am certain that is not shallow. I think that's as deep as it could possibly. I think that's the deepest thing, that like the deepest desire you have is literally that of like love, sex, and intimacy. Is it not? The amount of guys who've told me I'm shallow for like that, I've spent time purposely trying to like improve my relationships with women. That it blows my mind, because I'm like, surely that's the most deep thing that you could possibly be working on. Or especially when I talk about improving your looks to attract a woman, when I talk about getting into the gym, building some muscle so you look good, then all the sophisticated weightlifters come in and, oh, I just lift weights for me. Oh, like, yeah, fine. Go to the gym if it's fun for you. Go to the gym, that's awesome. Go lift some weights, go make some progress, awesome. But to say that it's shallow to want to attract a woman and love and intimacy and relationships, bro, to say that it's shallow for wanting to improve yourself so that you can be a better man to get into a relationship, and to say that it's shallow to want to improve your attractiveness so that you can attract a better woman, I am certain that that is not shallow at all. First Man does say not to focus on women for years, but that is coming from his lens of already being a previous fuckboy. Like, he already slept with a lot of girls, he was already confident and good with girls to begin with, and then he transitioned into just, you know, fully focused on success and work. And so he has the luxury of not needing to think about girls for years and still be okay. And like, I know he's okay, like, you know, he's dating, he's sleeping with girls now, and he's awesome. Yeah, because I'm not going to expose him in a certain way, but like, First Man fucks. I'm just going to say this, bro. Like, if you're a guy who slept around like a fair amount, you know the other guys who get a lot of girls. And as soon as I started watching him, I was like, holy fuck, okay, this guy's definitely got a triple digit body count. He's definitely slept with above 100 women. I spoke to him. It's higher than I thought. But so, you know, when he tells you like, yeah, focus on what, like, that's with his lens of like, yeah, he was already good with girls to begin with. Do you know what I mean? He already like has spent some time with them. Whereas for me, why I make so many videos on getting girls is because I purposely needed to like watch this kind of stuff. I needed someone who was older than me to, you know, tell me how to be good with girls, because it was something I actually needed to focus. Some guys are just good with girls just naturally, like I wasn't. So I needed this kind of content to begin with. I needed to like focus on it for a certain point. My throat gets so dry when I record a video. Like, I've been talking for the last like 2 hours. I recorded a video before I started the stream as well. We're 1.5 hours into the stream. So I've been talking straight for like 2.5 hours now. Let's do another video. We'll do the 7 skills that will make you rich. We'll do a money video right now. Let's do it. Jeffrey's always watching Jeffrey's always watching videos on self-improvement, but he never takes action. His dream is to become a rich, successful man. But how can he even get close to that if he doesn't have the discipline to build the skills that will actually make him money? Adonis. Adonis is a wealthy man. He lives in a big house with his wife Anastasia and their children. He can afford to give them the highest quality of life because Adonis worked hard. Building wealth was his aim, not his dream. And so Adonis leveled up the skills required to become rich. 7 skills that will make you rich. What should we include for the 7 skills that will make you rich? 7 skills that will make you rich. Seven skills that will make you rich. What are the 7 skills that would make you rich, boys? 7 skills, okay. I'll go communication first. I need to tell a story. Okay. There was a point when I desperately wanted to make some money. I was 21 or 22 years old. I had graduated from university with a shitty degree, applying for jobs, hating my life. Started to look into entrepreneurship and business, and I heard this term like, yeah, go and develop some valuable skills. Develop some valuable skills, and you'll be able to increase your earnings. And a lot of people said that, and they told me, okay, increase. A lot of people said that. They said, okay, go and develop some skills, but it was quite vague, and they didn't really teach me in the right way the kind of skills that I should have developed to go and make some money. And so honestly, for the next 6 months, I struggled. I didn't actually develop the skills that I should have, and I just tried to quickly go and make as much money as possible, and that led to just kind of a waste of time. Now, of course, I learned things through my first 6 months of entrepreneurship when I didn't make any money. But I wish I had a video like this to just tell me, okay, start with this, because if you start with the right skills, and then you want to go and try and make more money from your career or business, you'll perform so much better than the guy who just isn't that educated to begin with. Developing your skills through education, like watching this video, developing your skills through education, like watching this video or reading some books, kind of gives you a map to success. And so develop your skills, watch this video, read some books. You have a map to success. You know where to go and how to get there. And yet the guy who refuses to develop his skills, or he doesn't even know that this is a concept, there's skills to develop, well, he's trying to reach the point of success without a map. I really hope you can believe this. No one gets rich and successful. I really hope you can believe this. No one gets rich and successful and stays rich and successful without developing the right skills to begin with. That will make you rich. The first skill, and probably the most important that will make you rich, is social skills. Your ability to communicate your thoughts and your ideas, and to collaborate with other people, and to speak to people without coming across as weird. Now, in the modern day, because of social media and because we're all just spending time indoors, a lot of people don't really have great social skills. The issue with that, and you might be thinking, well, you don't really need social skills, you can just work really hard anyway. The issue is that the fastest way to reach success is just to have someone else who kind of teaches you and maybe even gives you a bit of their success and guidance anyway. But if you've got poor social skills and you're not nice to be around for other people, well, then you'll never get that easy path to success. And if you try and do everything yourself, and you're just behind the computer screen all day and you don't speak to anyone, and you're trying to level up in a certain career or a business or something, it comes across in the way that you try and communicate the value of your product or even yourself, and the way that you write a CV when you're applying for a job, or the way that you try and network, or if you network at all. And so someone who doesn't have great social skills will just not go about any people interaction in the right way that will actually get them the results that they want. Whereas if you start to develop your social skills through literally the best book possible, How to Win Friends and Influence People, if you make this book, if you get this book, you can get it for free online, or you can buy it, whatever, and you master this one book. There's tons of books on social skills. Trust me when I say you don't even need them. You get this one book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and literally read it every single day for a few minutes, and then try and implement, try and take action on what you've learned. If you master this one book, you could be successful just like that. I don't think there's any other skill that literally, if you just had one skill, nothing else, just one skill, you'd be successful with. Not only, and this is the best part with social skills, not only will it help you become rich and you'll collaborate with other people and actually give you the ability to communicate your value and the product that you want to sell, but best part about it is that it'll give you the ability to actually make more friends. You've always heard you always heard the phrase that, it gets lonely at the top, that, as you level up, there's like less people to have friends with. The truth is that if you've got good social skills, that's not the case at all. That's the case for, like that random like 60-year-old CEO who's working 24 hours a day or some shit, and he's, too busy focused on other things. But the new age of entrepreneurship, of rich, successful young people, they're all actually very good with social skills, with communication. You see a bunch of these like richer guys, they're still being very social, like they still go out to like parties and stuff. The reason for it is that if you're going to become successful and rich, you may as well do it whilst cultivating some friends that you like. This is a phrase that I used for my right hand man, my first ever employee, Sam. And I said to him, like, I'm going to the top and I want you to come with me. Because when I think about going to the top, when I think about becoming the best leader of our generation, that's awesome. But the reason it's so great is because I have the social skills to actually become friends with you and to have people that I like by my side, because that's what makes life like worth living. So not only will social skills help you to make more money, but it'll actually help you to do so in the most fun way, which is with other people. What you really don't want, which is what a lot of people have experienced, is that they go and build some wealth and they go and make some money, and they hit their goal, they've made some money, but then they're lonely. Becoming successful, getting rich, making money is awesome, and it's like a huge benefit to your life. But if it's going to make you lonely at the same time, it's like, there was a positive to gaining money, but there's a huge negative to being lonely. It's like it kind of evens each other out. The best life that you could possibly think of is when you become rich, become wealthy, get lots of money, but then you also do it when you have a vibrant social life of people around you that you fucking love. Because how awesome would it be because how awesome would it be to become successful, but at the same time, in all ways, get happier? And that's a little bit rare with a lot of people, because a lot of people who go on to become successful sacrifice their social skills, sacrifice like social events, and end up just having like weird mannerisms. I created a full-length guide. I think it's over an hour long to this book. So if you don't want to read it, if you learn better from like video and audio, I'll have like a card pop up on screen and it'll be linked in the description. Free to watch. It's all on YouTube. And I literally went through every single section of this book. There's like 30 principles to social success. I went through every single one and gave you my advice. And then I also have, that's quite an old video that I made. And so I also have an updated video that I've made of social skills masterclass, and I'll have that linked and somewhere pop up. So you can just watch those two videos. They're like an hour long each, and you'll have pretty good so you can just watch those two videos. They're like an hour long each. So you can just watch those two videos. I think they're like an hour long each, and so you can just watch those. So you can just watch those two videos. I think they're about an hour long each, and you'll have a great understanding of how to improve your social skills. Boom. Ability to be ruthless. That's a good one, Bo. Jamal. Time management. The second skill that will help you become rich is time management. This is something that you'll see, like the more and more you get successful, you will see that the top people, the successful, wealthy people, greatly, greatly value their time. Because your time and your attention is how you get shit done. And it's with time that you can become successful. And of course you might have heard like, wait, don't trade time for money. This isn't about that. This is about valuing your time and managing it in a way so that you get the best out of your day. The average person who doesn't really have that much money don't manage their time at all. They wake up whatever time they're forced to by either they wake up at whatever time they're forced to by either the school system or by their boss. They don't want to wake up at that time, but they need to. The rest of their day is spent. The rest of their day is spent. The rest of their time is spent. The rest of their time is managed by someone else, the boss or the teacher. And eventually when they do have some like free time, there's no management to it. There's no structure. There's no control. There's no routine. And so, unfortunately for the average person who doesn't value their time, well, If you don't value your time, no one else will. And this is perhaps one of the single greatest reasons why the average person just does not make that much. Like, they can't trade their hour for that much money. You know, you can trade your hour for what, like $15, $25 or something. The average person doesn't get that much money for their time because it's just not that valuable. When you get into the skill of time management, and I'll give you a great tip for this, but when you get into this skill and you start to value your time, you start to structure your day, you drastically increase your productivity and your output and your effectiveness, and that will so significantly help you to become more successful. Now, there is a tip that I can give you to manage your time way better, and I learned this from Brian Tracy. He's my all-time favorite author. He said that he has this phrase which I really like, where he said that 1 minute in planning is worth 10 minutes of execution. So what he's saying is that if you spend just a couple of minutes planning at the end of the night what you're going to do tomorrow, you'll actually increase your productivity by about 10 times the amount of time that you've just spent. So for example, if I spend at the end of the night 5 minutes just planning what I'm going to do tomorrow, I might actually be more productive to the quantity of about 1 hour, 50 minutes, something like that. And it really does make sense. People who don't plan their time, people who don't manage their time or plan their days, seem to just like, if you don't plan your time or manage your day, you'll probably get this feeling of like the day just seems to slip by, like you didn't accomplish that much and the day is just over. And you're sure that you have more of a capacity to get more done, don't you? You're sure that you could do way more. You just don't really end up achieving that much in a single day, do you? And the reason why is probably because you haven't planned your day. So the way that I plan my day, which has really helped me, is very, very simple. Just on your phone or on a piece of paper, literally just write what you're gonna do tomorrow at what time. So 6 a.m. morning routine, 6:30 follow a call, 7 a.m. record 6 videos, 9 a.m. breakfast, 12 p.m. work. You know what I mean? Like, have every hour of the day allocated to something. You know, do this the night before for like literally 5 minutes, just write whatever you're gonna do. Maybe you got school, so you write like, 8 a.m. school till 3 p.m., then 3 p.m. commute home, then 4 p.m. eat, then 4:30 learn, something like that. You write pretty much every half an hour or hour of the day. And of course, you know, some shit's gonna happen. You know, life will get in the way. Your mum asks you to do something, you're busy with something, one task took over the next. Of course, that's gonna happen. So when you do it on your phone, you can just take off. You know, if like the timing has messed up, just refresh it. So if, for example, right now it says 7 a.m. record 6 videos and I was supposed to have breakfast at 9 a.m. It's 11:45 right now. I've been recording for like 4 hours. So obviously I've missed breakfast today, but I'll just change it. So like, let's say this video is going to end in 20 minutes. So 12 p.m. breakfast. So I've just updated it there. Now I'd update the rest of the day, which seems a little bit tedious. But again, the 1 minute you spend just updating the day when, you know, something like life gets in the way, it's probably worth 10 minutes more, like 10 times more for your productive output. Discipline. The third skill that's going to help you to be the third skill that's going to make you rich is discipline. And I'm also going to mix in stoicism. Discipline and stoicism. Discipline is the skill of doing the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. And actually, no, I should do them separately, actually. Discipline, stoicism. Yeah, I'm going to do that again. The third skill that's going to make you rich is discipline. I spoke about discipline a lot, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. Discipline is the skill of doing the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. It's specifically about your feelings. It's doing the right thing, the work, the hard piece of work, even though you don't feel like it. Because if you're a normal person and you only do that hard, important task when you feel like it, you're going to get destroyed by the guy who just does the work, even though he doesn't feel amazing right now. I've spoke about discipline a lot. There's a bunch of videos on my channel if you're interested. My entire channel is based on like the concept of being disciplined anyway, so you can go have a look at that if you're interested. Number 4, the fourth skill is stoicism. Now, stoicism and discipline are very similar, but I think stoicism is different in the focus of emotional, what would you say the word is? Emotional maturity or emotional control. Stoicism, we can say, is almost like a branch of discipline, and it's about not letting your emotions, and it's about And it's about staying stoic, like staying unwavered to whatever your emotions are like. Now, discipline was just, okay, do the hard thing even though you don't feel like it. But stoicism branches out to most of the day, especially with making decisions. If you want to become successful, and there's like one act that's going to give you the most dividend. If there was just one act that was going to make you the most money of your entire life, do you know what it would be? Try and guess right now. If there was just one thing, like one thing that you would somewhat consistently do that would give you the most amount of money, guess what it would be? Making the right decisions. Being good at decision making. The issue is that so many people, especially young men, are not good at making decisions because they don't make decisions through logic and analysis with this like masculine focus. They make decisions through emotions. So imagine you get emotional and then you decide to do something. You get emotional and you shout. You get emotional, you feel like craving, desire inside of your brain, and you go and eat the junk food. That's all about your emotions, and your emotions will wreak havoc on your life if you allow them to. The majority of people so desperately need stoicism. They desperately need emotional control, but it almost offends them to suggest something like this. Hopefully you're not like them. Hopefully you're thinking right now, yeah, being emotional is probably not a good thing. An issue with this, which I mention so often in my videos, is that young men are being conditioned to be weak, and you're being told, yeah, it's good to be emotional. Young men should be emotional. They should show that. If you want to become successful, masculine, if you want to make a lot of money, if you want to date or sleep with a lot of girls, being emotional is not going to help you at all. Be stoic. For stoicism, level 4. Wait, that was 4, wasn't it? 4. Dish. 5. The fifth vital skill, the fifth vital skill, which you might be confused by, is sales. Now, you probably heard this before. Okay, sales is like, an awesome skill you should try, and it just seems like complicated and vague and confusing. Okay, how do you actually level up the skill of sales? Now, I like to think of sales as the process of convincing someone that the thing that you're selling them is worth getting. So sales is used, for example, selling a product. Sales, for example, is used to sell a product. Sales, for example, is the convincing. What would the term be? Convincing. So sales is the skill that you use to convince someone that the thing you're about to sell them is actually worth it for them to buy. This can be about a product that you're selling to this could be, for example, a product that you're selling to like your audience, so you'd use sales for that. But what's very interesting is that you use sales in your dating life, because you yourself are almost like a product that you're trying to sell to this woman, not in like a weird way, but you're trying to convince her of the value of your product. And so if you're good at sales, like you'll see this trend if you start to look out for it. You will see the guys who are good at sales are always good with getting women. You always see like salesmen in a company are usually like womanizers, like they're usually playboys, because if you're good at sales, you'll be good at getting women. And if you're good at getting women, you'll be good at getting sales. So sales is the skill of convincing someone that the thing that you're trying to sell to them, whether it's you, whether it's your business, whether it's a product, whether it's even your YouTube video, because you're almost selling like, just someone clicking on your YouTube video. It's about convincing them that that thing is valuable and that they should exchange whatever they need to exchange for it. Every time I watch the video like this and they talk about the skill of sales, they never actually explained it well. And so every time I watch the video like this and, they said like, oh, young men should learn sales. The amount of times I watch videos like that and the creator or, the commenter never even expanded, made me think like, okay, they don't even know what they're talking about. Now, I started as a salesman. I've transformed now more into like a leader, but I started this whole journey as a salesman. So I will teach you so I will teach you the most important aspect of sales, which is all about their what's the word? Obligations. Fuck, what's the obligation? What's the fucking there's a what's the sales objections, that's it. That's fucking, how did I forget that, bro? So let me say that again. I'll start this section again. And you know what's interesting? I've seen a bunch of videos or comments about this, like skills that young men should learn. And they say sales, they always say sales, and yet they never actually expand on it enough that like a beginner could learn it, which probably means that they don't even know what they're talking about. So anytime you see these videos of like, oh, 7 skills young men should need, or you always see like those people who are like copy and pasting their comments, like, oh, the 15 skills that men need, and they just write sales and they don't expand after that. Usually they don't even know what they're talking about. I started as a salesman before this. So I started as a salesman. I started as a salesman before this. I've transformed now more into a leader, but I was always starting as like a salesman and an entrepreneur. So I'm going to teach you the most. So I'm going to teach you the most important part of sales, which is handling their objections. So let's say, for example, we have a product, which is this book. No. So let's say, for example, we have a product like this phone. No, actually, I'll do this. So let's say, for example, I have a product like this water bottle, and I want to sell it to you, and you're in the market you're looking for a water bottle. Of course, like, you just go online to buy on Amazon, but like this would be the autistically detailed step of sales, right? I want to sell this to you. The skill of sales is me convincing you that this water bottle is what I'm asking for you to pay for it. Now, being good at sales is always focusing on their objections. So what I would do is I'll tell you about this water bottle, I'll tell you a little bit, and I'd ask you some really good questions like, oh, like, why do you need a water bottle? And you tell me like, oh, well, I like drinking water, and I don't just want to, buy like a little shitty water bottle from the store because it's so and I don't just want to buy like a little shitty water bottle from like a store because they're plastic, they get crushed, they leak, they're always warm. And then, okay, so I listen to what you've just said and I'm thinking, okay, that's the value that he's looking for. The pain point that he's got right now is that he buys these cheap water bottles. They always leak everywhere, and that the water goes warm, when you buy it in a plastic bottle. So see this bottle, Super Sparrow. Well, the best thing about this is that it's made from this I don't know, fucking titanium or some shit. It's made by titanium, which means that it will keep your water ice cold for 12 hours straight. And you're thinking like, oh wow, that's really good. Then I think about what you might object to this. I think about your possible objections, because the thing is, you're not going to be, if I'm trying to sell to you, you're not going to be totally on my side, are you? You're going to be like, there's a little bit of like a friction between our sort of relationship, isn't there? You kind of know I'm trying to sell you something. So you're not going to totally tell me what's 100% in your consciousness, are you? So you're gonna have some problems with this water bottle, and you're probably not gonna like totally tell me. So a skilled salesman would think about the person that you are and the things that you've mentioned, and so a skilled salesman will think about the person you are, the things that you've mentioned, and also what the common objections are, and bring them up. So let's say you seem like you're really into like fitness, and you told me that the normal plastic water bottles aren't good for the gym because they always leak and everything. Well, then I might also say, oh, by the way, this bottle is BPA free, which means that it won't mess up your testosterone. Like all those plastic water bottles that you can get, they mess up your testosterone. So that might be a big objection that you had previously, and now you're like, oh shit, okay, this water bottle's better. Another part of sales is knowing who you're selling to. So for example, if you were like a guy like me, I wouldn't spend time telling you like, oh, and this is better for the environment because it's not plastic, and we throw away too much plastic. Because the thing is, that might sound nice, but if I was personally in the market to buy a water bottle, I'm not sat there thinking, oh, climate change, oh, plastic. I'm not. I'm thinking, is it going to keep my water cold, and is it going to fuck up my testosterone? I'm a young man who goes to the gym. That's what I'm focused on. Being a good salesman is about thinking very deeply about this person's needs and objections and their desires, and selling them on that. It's this whole process of convincing them. And you do the exact same thing when you're dating a girl. When you go out there and you start speaking to a girl and you message her a little bit, you're in the process of selling yourself. And so you're in the process of selling yourself. A lot of guys. Nah, take that dating bit off. We'll keep this specifically just about making money. Why this fucking... Bro, live chat's so fucking stupid, man. These guys just want a feeling of importance, so they sit there and just copy and paste the same messages. I've always found that crazy, I'm not gonna lie. I've always found that just fucking cringe. They're like, if you're sat here watching because you're like a fan and stuff, fair enough, that's nice. But some of these guys will come in just to spam some like weird meme shit, and I just think to myself, like, holy fuck, like, you need a dopamine detox ASAP, bro. How can you be sat here for 10 minutes when you don't even, like, you're not even interested in this? Hang on, I'm just removing all the spammers now. That always blew my mind, how people can be sat and just giving you their attention. Like, oh, like... There you go, it's gone now. It's just fucking cringe, bro. There you go. Okay, I've removed them all now. It's like, it's this internet personality of like people who say like weird memes and shit, and it's just like, it makes me cringe, bro. You can tell who doesn't. You can tell who needs a dopamine detox by how they type in these live chats. There you go. Is that all of them? Okay, goodbye. Yeah, it's cringe, isn't it? Okay, that's the worst of the spammers. It's interesting, bro, because we make self-improvement content, and then a bunch of people who aren't even part of our movement come here just to like spend time like spam it. I've always just found that fucking cringe, because these are guys who aren't on self-improvement, and they just come here to like spam or like to say abusive shit for no reason. And I just think, bro, like, you literally come into a place where guys are coming in to talk about like, yeah, like we want to become more productive, we want to make more money, we want to improve our mental health, and they try and spend time like trolling us. I didn't actually realize people still do like internet trolling. Since I went on this sort of self-improvement journey, like, I don't waste time with that shit. I don't get into like internet arguments or trolling or some shit. And I didn't realize that people still actually spend their time like this. Like, if you're here to learn, if you're here to like, you know, just take part in me recording these videos and stuff, nice. But if you're here just because you're like, oh, memes, oh, like, it makes no fucking sense, bro. It's like, if you were like rich as fuck, fair enough. You know, fair enough, okay, fine. But if you're here spamming shit, oh, help Uday or some shit, bro, you're probably broke. You probably need to go and fucking focus on yourself right now, man. You don't have time to be sat here as a young man and your parents are fucking broke. Like, I don't say this to be offensive, but your parents are broke. You don't have time to be sat here spamming fucking comments and like, you know, leaving abuse about people. Like, you don't have time for that. But at the same time, I shouldn't be saying this, because the people who I am talking to crave this feeling of importance. When you read a book like this and you realize like how much these people crave a feeling of importance, you realize the best way, just, you know, ban them, block them, whatever, and then just don't even acknowledge them. Okay, so that was number 5, sales. Number 6. Okay, boys, we need, help me with this, boys. We need 2 skills that will make you rich. We've done 5, we need to get up to 7. 2 skills that will make you rich. What are the 2 skills that would make you rich? And I've already done a couple of them. 2 skills that will make you rich. I've done social skills, I've done time management, discipline, stoicism, and sales. 2 skills that will make you rich. I'll do meditation, actually. Meditation is one. This is number 6. Student mindset's a good one. Okay, let's do. The 6th skill, and a very interesting one that not a lot of people actually know about, is meditation. Now, I've spent so many videos talking about meditation, so I'm not gonna, you know, just explain the whole process again. I'll have like guides pop up and everything. But the reason why meditation will help you to make more money, is because it drastically improves your focus. So, you know, in the modern day, people's focus is so fucked. They're always like just scrolling on TikTok, like new content, you know, like scrolling on TikTok, live chats that just fuck up your mental health, and like, you know, just your mind just gets fucked in this modern day, doesn't it? Meditation is kind of like the cure for that. Meditation is a specific time where you're literally, meditation is a specific time where you're training your focus. With the modern world, with live chats, with TikTok, with Instagram, our focus is deteriorating. And with poor focus, well, you're not going to be able to focus on making money or focus on the work task. So you improve it through meditation. Along, alongside the benefit of more meditation, alongside the benefit of more focus from meditation, that alongside the benefits of increased focus which meditation gives you, meditation and some other practices just improve your mental health. They make you feel better mentally. When it's such a it's such a widespread problem these days of young men who have poor mental health, and honestly, having bad mental health fully stops your ability to do many good things in life. Like, if you've got bad mental health, it's so hard to be productive. Like, if you feel a little bit depressed or anxious, it's so hard to like actually sit down and do the work. It's so easy. Think about it. If you've got depression or anxiety, if you don't feel mentally good, it's so easy, isn't it, to just spend all day on your phone. It's so much easier to fall victim to video games, to drugs, to junk food, to, just wasting time. When you don't feel mentally good, it's so much easier. But when you feel mentally better, when you meditate and you journal and you actually feel happier, you go on to actually build more success. And there's real scientific proof of this. There's a book called The Happiness Advantage, which breaks down that happy people are literally more likely to become successful, and happy people make more money. So to become happy, improve your mental health, and the best way to do that is to meditate and journal. I have a full 1 hour, 2 hour guide to improving your mental health, which I'll pop up as like a card right now. Boom. That is number 6. Boys, we've got one more. What is a skill that will make you money? What is the 7th skill that will make you money? Patience is a good one. Patience is a really good one. Copywriting. I mean, I said sales, so copywriting is the same thing. I should have explained copywriting more in the sales section, actually. If you're wondering, boys, copywriting is an aspect of sales where, I said sales is about convincing someone that the product you're selling is worth what they have to exchange for it. Copywriting is the same thing, but it's just on like a web page instead. I think patience might be the best one, What do you guys think? What is a skill needed to get rich? I think patience might be the best one, because so many guys aren't patient and then they end up deviating away from their plan. We've got discipline already. We've got social skills. We've got sales. We've got networking. We need one final one now. Patience, maybe? Discipline, we've got that. Ego. Humility could be a good one, actually. Yeah, humility could be a really good one. Which one should we do? Humility or patience? Spam 1 for humility and spam 2 for patience. Humility is the skill of understanding that you've still got a lot more to improve on and to learn. And patience, of course, is, just understanding that, yeah, things can take a long time. Spam 1 for humility, spam 2 for patience. Which one should we do? What should be the 7th skill that will get you rich? What's more likely to get someone rich, patience or humility? Hard to say. It's really hard to say, isn't it? If you don't have patience, you'll give up too easily and you'll keep deviating to different business ideas and everything. If you don't have humility, then you won't learn, you won't improve. I think both are necessary, actually. Should we do both? Spam 3 if we should just do both, and I'll add 1 as like a bonus skill. 1 for humility, 2 for patience, and 3 for both. I reckon we need to do both, to be honest. I reckon we tell these boys to get both. Yeah, they're both really good. Yeah, we'll do both then. So seventh is humility. I'll do patience first. The seventh skill that's gonna make you rich, and it's gonna seem kind of weird because you don't. The seventh skill that's gonna make you rich, and it's gonna seem kind of weird because you probably don't really see it as a skill, is patience. Patience is the skill of understand. Patience is the skill of understanding that results take some time to occur. There's a book. There's a book that I absolutely love, and it's called. There's a book that I absolutely love, and it's called Good to Great by Jim Collins. And he explains this concept of a flywheel. A flywheel is like this big sort of industrial like spinning thing. It's like, imagine it's huge, right? Like this huge big metal thing. No, I won't explain. That's kind of hard to. Okay, I'll explain it from. Wait, I'll say this again. Okay, the seventh skill that's gonna make you the seventh skill that's going to make you rich is patience. And you probably don't even realize that patience is a skill, but it's the skill of understanding that results take time and to like stay in it for the long run. A huge problem of young guys who aren't very patient is that, they'll try something and they won't see results in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and so they'll give up. The thing is that if you've got patience and you've got all of the other skills that we've mentioned, and essentially patience is like sticking to it even though you don't see any results just yet, you're almost you're very you're very likely to achieve success if you have patience and the other skills. You're very likely to achieve success if you have patience. But for the guys who are impatient, who have fucked up their patience because they who have fucked up their patience because they use the instant gratification, getting everything they want really quickly. If you're craving a burger, you can order a burger and it'll come to your house 20 minutes from now. If you want to have sex and you want to impregnate a girl, well, you can do that instantly by hopping onto a porn website. We've messed up our ability to be patient, and now it's like we feel like we need results way faster than we actually deserve them. And so most guys just quit, they switch over businesses or different ideas, and it just gets frustrating. You absolutely need patience if you want to see some like good results in many different things, in your ability to improve and to attract women, in your ability to make money, in your ability to improve your physique. You must have patience. There's a way to understand patience which I really like, which is, imagine those old school style trains, like the freight trains, like big massive, like not like the new age speed trains, but imagine those like metally ones that you could probably imagine were in like 1900s or something, big freight trains, right? Imagine how that train actually moves. The conductor's there, he presses the button or some shit. I don't know how trains work, right? But think about it. This train is what, thousands of tons. It's huge and it's big, bulky, right? And so he presses all like the coal. I don't know how the fuck, essentially like the train moves pretty much nothing at all, very very slowly, very slowly, very slowly. You hear like the big roaring of like, it just way slow, just slow. Here is when most people would quit. They'd be like, oh, this train's going too slow, like I'll just walk. So the impatient man just walks instead because the train's barely moving. It's like just moving a tiny little bit because it's so heavy. And it gets a little bit faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And have you ever seen like a video of like a freight train when it's at full speed? Well, bro, it's going fast. It'll barge through like a concrete wall. This is exactly the same as results and success. It takes a long time to build up. And most guys just give up because they don't see many results to begin with. But once you start to see results because you had patience, the success compounds and it actually becomes kind of hard to stop it. The success compounds and it actually becomes kind of hard to slow it down. You need that momentum, and momentum comes when you allow yourself to be patient. Whew. And last one, I'll say humility. I was going to stop here, but I'm live streaming right now, and the boys who are watching, well, I'm live streaming as I record this video, and the boys who are watching told me that there should be one more skill. So skill number 8 is like a little bonus, is humility. Humility is the skill of defying your ego. And your ego is like this thing inside of you, like this Jeffrey part inside. And your ego is like this thing inside of you, the Jeffrey part inside of you that tries to convince you that you're really great, that you don't really need to take something as seriously as you should do, that you don't really need to improve something as much as you should. So for example, the guy with the massive ego is the guy who's, like a know-it-all. Like he might be a little bit advanced in, some area. Let's say like fitness, for example. There's a guy with a massive ego who got into the gym and made some like okay gains, But he never had the humility to keep learning. And so once his gains slow down after 2 years, but he's got this huge ego, yeah, I'm so hench, yeah. He doesn't make much progress after that. But the guy with humility starts going to the gym and understands, okay, there's people out there who are so much more advanced than I am. I'm going to learn from them. And so this guy with humility learns from other people, makes awesome progress, gets even more jacked than the first guy with the big ego. And guess what? The guy with humility keeps learning. To be a black belt in martial arts is potentially the greatest sign of humility. And there was like a story or a phrase I really like about, and there's like a story of like a man receiving his black belt, which I really like. Essentially, like I'm butchering the story, but there's a guy who's been training really, really hard, and his sensei comes to him and says, "What does this black belt mean to you? If you give me the right answer, I'll give it to you." And the guy's getting so excited, he thinks, oh, he's going to get it. And he's like, yes, it means the end of my training. Like, I've worked so hard, it's time to like celebrate. The master looks disappointed and walks away. The guy, gets really annoyed at this. He doesn't realize what he's done wrong. So he just keeps training, keeps getting, he's training BJJ or something. He's getting like choked up and everything. Months go by. Sensei comes back, presents the black belt. What does this black belt mean to you? And he gives the wrong answer again. He says, yeah, I'm so advanced in this. I'm so good at this. I've been beating so many guys recently. This black belt symbolizes my excellence in the sport. Sensei looks disappointed again, walks off again. The student trains again for months, maybe years. Now he's so much more further than he originally was. Sensei comes up. What does this black belt mean to you? And the student says, it's the start of my training. Because from this point that I take this black belt and I wrap it around my waist, there is so much more to go and so much more to learn. And he gets given the black belt. It's humility, the skill of knowing that there's so much more for you to learn. And that's how you'll make so much more progress. You'll become more successful. And wait, I'll say that again. It's humility, the skill of defying your ego and believing that there's so much more for you to learn that's going to help you become rich. Click and watch this video right now. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah! Whoo! Fuck, boys, I've been recording videos and talking for like 3 hours straight. My throat hurts. Huh. Which one was that? 7 skills that will make you rich. There you go. Recorded like 4 or 5 videos. Whew. Right, I'm hopping off, boys. I appreciate you guys literally just watching me just record videos. Just content for days. I'm hopping off, boys. Nothing but love. We got big ass videos coming out. Yeah, my throat hurts. I'm not gonna lie. I've been talking for about 3.5 hours straight now. No breaks. Sweet. Take care, everyone. Spam W. See you all in 5 hours and 45 minutes for our daily upload.